With so many monsters in my singing monsters, players are bound to have their favorites, and even some they don't like. Given the huge number of monsters in the game, there are those that are widely loved by the entire community and others that most players simply don't enjoy, whether it's because of their sound, appearance, or just general dislike. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the most loved and the most hated monsters in the community, those adored by everyone and those that are disliked by the majority. I actually made a video on this topic before on my main channel, so I hope you enjoy this one too. Let's start with a monster I'm sure most of the community absolutely loves, and that includes me. I really like this one, and that's Ghast. That's right everyone, Ghast is one of the most beloved monsters in the entire community. It has one of the best designs in the game and a very iconic sound. Plus, it's the first ethereal ever introduced. Every new player dreams of getting a Ghast on their island. It's no surprise that it's one of the most searched monsters when it comes to how to obtain it. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Ghast is one of the most loved monsters of all time. Now, going in the opposite direction, if we've talked about the loved one, let's talk about one that's hated by a lot of people in the community. Pummel, that's right, this plant island monster is one of the most disliked in the entire game. Not because of its looks, but mainly because of its sound. When you really analyze it, you might not understand why people dislike it. It's just an instrumental monster with a drum sound, nothing that should annoy anyone. But what really bothers people is that Pummel almost never stands out in the music on the islands where it's present. It's always in the background, barely audible, and ends up being one of those monsters no one pays attention to. That lack of presence makes it one of the most hated monsters in the community. Another monster I'm sure the whole community loves, maybe not absolutely everyone, but definitely the vast majority, is Gobbleygourd. And I love this monster too. Gobbleygourd is one of the most iconic and funniest seasonal monsters. It has a certain charm, it's clumsy, it adds a lot to the music with its funny sounds, and it also appears in my Singing Monsters trailers, always being a very iconic and hilarious character. That's why so many people love this monster. Now for another hated one, this time because of its sound again, we have Scups. Scups is one of the funniest monsters on Air Island and other natural islands, sure, but not everyone finds it funny. In fact, many people don't like Scups because its sound often isn't noticeable on the islands it's on. Its sound is kind of silly and overly simple, which turns some people off. Most just don't care about Scups at all because of its sound, which is a shame because I really like its style and goofy charm. Back to the beloved ones, we have another monster that completely took over the community, Gnarls. That's right, Gnarls is without a doubt one of the most loved Quint monsters in the game. Ever since its release on Amber Island, the community has fallen in love with it. Its vocal sound is beautiful and fits perfectly with the islands it's on. And after its arrival on Bone Island and in Dawn of Fire, its popularity skyrocketed even more, making it one of the most beloved Quint monsters ever. Now, instead of talking about just one hated monster, let's talk about an entire class. But don't worry, I'm only talking about the Dipsters. These little monsters you buy with keys are some of the most hated in the community, and by me too. I don't hate them entirely, but I have to admit they often ruin the island music. There are a few exceptions where they sound good, but most of the time they break the rhythm or atmosphere of a song, making them one of the types I really don't enjoy. If there's one seasonal monster I know is loved by many in the community, if not the most loved, it's Monculus, one of the best seasonals in the game. Since its arrival on Seasonal Shanty, Monculus has been adored by everyone for its sound, design, and lore. It's an ancient monster, one of the first ever created. Plus, when it arrived on Wooblin Island and Ethereal Island, its new sounds were incredible. Another monster hated for its sound, again because it's too quiet to hear properly, is Tring. This fire monster was widely disliked by the community after debuting in My Singing Monsters. He already existed in Dawn of Fire, but didn't get much attention there. Once he arrived in MSM, people started hating on him for his very basic sound. Even in DOF, his bio jokingly mentions that despite being big and powerful, his sound is tiny and simple. Still, people really dislike this quad, and it's easy to see why. And of course, I can't forget to mention a mythical monster that lives in the hearts of many players, Bazinga. That's right, Bazinga is one of the most amazing mythical monsters in the game. It has an incredible sound, beautiful design, and what makes it special is that it was created by the entire community through voting. When it was released, it came in strong with amazing music on both islands it appears on, making it one of the most loved monsters of all, and now a monster that's super hated by the community, and I honestly don't know why, is Wink. Wink is a fire monster that I can confidently say is the most hated fire monster in the game. Despite becoming a meme on TikTok and its sound trending on the app, a lot of people still dislike it. I'd really like to know why, so if you're one of those people, let me know why you don't like Wink. On the total opposite end of the spectrum, Denatso is one of the most beloved magical monsters in the entire game. I don't think I've ever seen anyone dislike this duo. They're cute, weird, and have a really good sound. Those traits made the entire community fall in love with them. Honestly, there's not much else to say. They're just universally loved. Now a monster that is disliked, and I understand why, is Ugidi, a 4-element ethereal that is definitely one of the most hated in the ethereal workshop. A lot of people don't like its sound, which, let's face it, isn't that interesting. It's basically just a squishy puddle noise. And its design, some people didn't like that either. Personally, I was disappointed. I don't hate Ugidi, but I'm definitely not a fan, and since I mentioned a hated monster from the workshop, of course a beloved one from that island needs to be here too, Blarret. Yes, Blarret is one of the most loved monsters from Ethereal Workshop. As soon as it arrived, it gained a huge fan base. Its sound is amazing, and its design is something we'd never seen before. Plus, its appearances in the islets gave it even more great sounds. Blarret is very loved. The last hated monster in this video is also from the workshop, and I've seen many people criticize it, Exart. Exart is without a doubt one of the most controversial monsters from this island. I personally like it and think it's great, but I've seen several videos of people bashing it, saying it's awful because it only makes a burping sound and its design is weird. Personally, I think it's super creative and fun, but I get sad that so many people don't appreciate it. I really like Exart. And last but not least, a monster that's both loved and hated at the same time. A recent addition to the game that has already become iconic in the My Singing Monsters universe, Spurit. Yep, believe it or not, Spurit was very hated at launch, especially on Seasonal Shanty, where many disliked its short scream-like sound. But over time, the community grew to love this monster, especially after its arrival on Fire Oasis, where it became one of the most beloved and iconic monsters in the game, a full redemption arc. So that's it folks, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time.